It's time again to perk up by spending the next 30 minutes with Skippy, Lowe, and guests. Think of great burlesque houses and the old Howard Anatheum may come to mind. Think of the great ladies of burlesque and several names may possibly stand out. But think of This Was Burlesque and there is but one person to whom thoughts turn. She is its creator and star, the legendary ecdysiast, Miss Ann Corio. Accompanying Miss Corio today are two lovely members of her cast to whom you will be introduced as well. And now, having stripped his gears to reach the studio for today's show, here's your host and man of the half hour, Skip E. Lowe.
Strip my gears, David. Well, anyway, your prayers have been answered. I'm Rosemary's baby. How are you folks out there? Sit back, relax, because we have an old-time burlesque show for you today. They're in L.A., and I'm so happy they're here in Hollywood and Los Angeles. And the lady of that true story is Miss Ann Corio. How are you, Ann?
Oh, just happy,
25 years ago,
yes.
I saw you.
You did, in New York.
In New York. This was Burlesque on 2nd Avenue.
Right, the Casino East Theater.
What's the theater?
Casino East.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yes, it used to be a very famous Jewish theater during the days of Jewish theater
right.
on the east side in New York.
Uh-huh.
As a matter of fact, when we appeared there, it was a little disconcerting at times, you know. They still had the Star of David up at the ceiling.
Yeah, I remember the opening night I was there.
You were?
I just got back from Europe and I went to see you because you had a lovely lady I worked with, Hope Diamond, the gem of the exotics.
Yes. Beautiful girl.
Yeah,
I still see her.
You do?
Yeah, we're still friends.
She's still working?
Well, no, she's not working professionally. She's in business now.
I see. Mm-hmm. Tell me about Ann Corio. What's new and exciting
what's
in your
new?
life? Yeah, I mean, not just the burlesque theater, but what's exciting in
Well, the most exciting thing about my life right now is right here in Los Angeles. I'll tell you, the reception, the way we've been received here is overwhelming. It's just marvelous. We love it. That audience is so magnificent, and the stars who come every night.
But you're at the Variety Arts Theater.
That's right.
No place in Los Angeles.
It's like that.
Where you should be.
It's like that theater was made for This Was Burlesque, and we were made for that theater. And all the burlesque stars, the ones who got their training in burlesque, they're showing up every night and dying to get up on the stage, and they do. And it's a lot of fun.
You have comics? Who are the comics on the show?
The comics on this show are Joe Elig, and we have Charlie Naples. He does the Charlie Chaplin segment. And Jimmy Matthews, and Frank Vose, who is... I broke in 2 years ago into burlesque comedy, and Joe also. He's done a lot of movies. He's in about 500 commercials. He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I brought him into burlesque and gave him
You did bring him into burlesque?
Yes.
And how long have you been in burlesque now? Really?
You really don't want to know.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do, darling. Now, come on, tell us.
Oh, a few years.
You look great, I must say.
I don't know now whether that's a compliment or not. People always say, gee, you look great.
Yes, it is a compliment.
It is? Okay, I'll accept it.
You know, I had Rudy Valley on my show, and he looks fantastic.
He was in to see our show the other night.
He did?
Yes.
Tell me, Ann, how long really have you been in burlesque?
I'm not going to
tell
you.
me?
Of course
You're
not.
Gonna...
No, it's...
You did a movie years ago.
No, I had many... I couldn't get out of those damn jungles. All
those jungle
movies. Those jungle movies. Oh my God.
What were those jungle?
Oh, they don't want them good. They want them ready for Tuesday. Oh,
what were their names?
Call of the Jungle, Swamp Woman.
Yeah.
Get Me Out of the Jungle.
Now, why did you do all those jungle movies?
Well, because I was getting a lot of money for doing it at the time, and I wanted to get into movies. I thought this was marvelous. I had Buster Crabbe as a leading man in one of them, and but when I saw the direction that they were going in, I thought I have to get out of this. I had a contract with these people. Monogram had 2 more years to go.
Monogram Studios.
Monogram Studios had 2 more years to go. And I was very unhappy with the movies because they were doing nothing for me. And RKO wanted to buy my contract. Monogram wouldn't sell. So I just quit. They kept me on. I couldn't work movies for 2 years until that contract was up, but they couldn't make me finish out my contract with them. I was getting $10,000 a week.
That's a lot of money in those days.
That was a lot of money back in the late 40s, my dear.
A lot of money.
And it wasn't easy to give it up, but...
Did you enjoy the films, Ann? Tell me. What you like, the real audience or the films?
I like the audience.
Live?
Oh, sure, I like the audience. I went back into summer stock, then played summer stock.
You did?
Yeah, I played Maggie in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and Sadie Thompson in Rain.
In Rain,
And, yeah.
mhm.
Then I found out that they weren't coming to hear my lines. They wanted to see them.
They wanted to see her.
So,
Did you know Gypsy Rosalie?
very well. We're very good friends.
Really?
We dressed together in burlesque when we were both working at the Irving Place Theater in New York.
And
Yeah,
how about the
she's a
theater
great
in
gal.
Boston? The famous
The old
Old
Howard.
Howard.
The
Tell
old
me about the Old
Howard.
Howard. I love that theater.
It was a great theater. And they had a saying up there that you couldn't graduate from Harvard until you see Ann Corio, because all the Harvard boys would storm on the Friday night show, the midnight show. They would take over the whole theater. And the Old Howard Theater, you've been in it.
Yeah.
It had that sort
I
of...
worked it.
You did?
I worked burlesque there.
You
I
did?
started, yes.
Are you available?
I started in Chicago, Illinois.
What did you do?
I'm from Rockford.
Comedy?
I was a comic.
Well, come
And I
on.
started, yes.
Come
I
on the
started.
show sometime.
Well, come
They'd
say
love to
hello.
see you.
Well, I started.
But let me
burlesque.
tell you about the Old
Go
Howard.
ahead.
They had that apron.
Uh-huh.
And the boxes were almost on the stage, very low, and they would come in over the apron.
Uh-huh.
And when one of the girls who did the Rosita Royce with the doves,
Yes.
and they covered
Used to
her,
take her thing.
right?
Yeah.
They took her clothes off, and then they would stay in these strategic parts, to cover her up. And these naughty boys threw popcorn on the stage one night. And of course, the doves weren't interested in Rosita anymore.
Uh-huh,
They just
uh-huh.
dove down to get the popcorn, and we had a blackout and closed the curtain on it. But I think the most interesting thing that happened at the Old Howard, as far as I was concerned, was we'd get so many letters from women who wanted to come see burlesque.
Mhm.
And they discouraged women from coming to the Old Howard. So Colonel...
They discouraged? Why?
Yeah, they did.
Why is
Well,
that,
this is a story I'm going
Yeah,
to tell
go
you.
ahead.
So it comes for the night, ladies' night only, and it was sold out like in 10 minutes,
Uh-huh.
and they were standing, they were mobbed, and they send notes backstage, don't cut anything out of the show, Ann, because we're just gals, we
Right.
want the whole show and all. So afterwards I said to Colonel Summerby, why don't you encourage women to come to this theater? You see how much they love burlesque. He
Uh-huh.
said, I have a very good reason, Ann. He says, we don't have a ladies' room. And that was his excuse for
They didn't have a ladies' room at the Old
No,
Howard?
they didn't.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. And they loved
The
they
comics.
loved it.
Tell me about the comics on the show. This was burlesque.
Yes.
People really come to see the comics
They
and
do.
the strippers.
Yes.
And and Sugar Babes is a copy from your show, really, isn't
Well,
it?
they were
Sugar Babies,
they
really.
were inspired. They copied it from us, but you read. I hope you read the review in Los Angeles Times.
No, I
said
didn't.
that.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't.
No, I
well,
just-
Dan Sullivan said that they were trying to copy us, but that we were so much better.
Authentic.
That
You're
we're
authentic.
authentic,
Yeah,
and they don't
yeah.
do it right, and
No.
that's true.
Yeah,
Because
I agree.
there's no one around who remembers it the way I do, but Nicky Rooney should, because his father was a burlesque
Uh-huh.
comic. You knew that.
Of
Joe
course,
knew.
of course.
Yes.
Nicky
As a
started.
matter of fact, they signed his father to a contract at MGM
Uh-huh.
to keep Nicky out of the box at that raunchy burlesque theater downtown in Los Angeles.
Uh-huh.
They didn't want Andy Hardy sitting in the box at the burlesque theater, while these burlesque shows were going on. But see, what we're doing now, and I think it's one of the things that inspired me to do this show, is I love burlesque. I love the comics.
The comics is the
They're
thing.
great.
The
Abbott
strippers and the
Costello.
comedians.
Well,
Yeah.
we're talking about strip teasers in my era now. They were all
Classy. They did an act.
classic. They did. And that's what I created for my show, that I
Yeah,
have my
yeah,
show now.
yeah.
And when it disintegrated and got into these strip joints and the comics were forgotten and all,
Yeah.
it just broke my heart, because that's another thing that was hurting my career, trying to get on into a legitimate theater, because generations were coming along that didn't know what burlesque was.
No.
That's why we recreated it. That's why we call it This Was
I
Burlesque.
thought when the girls showed everything, after this, they start showing everything, that's...
Well,
They
no
lost-
mystique.
they lost me.
No
They-
mystique.
No, I think that was
a
it.
man's imagination is a
Yeah.
woman's greatest
Yeah,
asset.
yeah.
You have
You
to-
have some beautiful girls on the show.
Yes, we do
Yeah,
have. We do have. I brought two of them
You
with
did
me,
bring two,
yes.
and the one is with a lovely girl by the name of Jennifer Fox.
Yeah, she's
She was a
gorgeous.
boy, I understand.
I can never think of her that way. To me,
I
she's
understand.
a beautiful.
I read something that Jennifer Fox, was a
Well,
boy.
I think if you let Jennifer explain this to you, because she wants to talk about it,
Okay.
and there's a very definite reason
Uh-huh.
for her to explain this
Okay.
that most people don't know. Don't
And
know.
also you brought a lovely girl.
Jeanette.
Jeanette.
Yes.
Boyd.
Jeanette Boyd.
She's an actress.
She's a classic strip teaser in the sense of the days when Gypsy and I were in burlesque.
Well, I like to meet them both.
Okay.
Let's get them.
Come on,
Jennifer,
girls.
Jennifer and Jeanette.
How are you?
How
Nice
are
to
you?
see you again.
My,
Hello.
oh, darling, you're so big for 12. Isn't
Well,
she lovely?
listen, you can make 2 trips.
True. She's lovely.
And
My-
isn't
this
my
is
Jennifer? She's
She's
gorgeous.
I can't believe I'm sitting here. You were. I'm going to cut it short. You were.
I had
oh,
transsexual surgery. I'll cut it short.
Okay, go ahead. Tell me about
I had transsexual.
Touche, touche.
Go ahead, Jeanette.
I had
I mean,
transsexual
Jennifer.
surgery
Jennifer.
10 years ago
Uh-huh.
in Chicago. I considered corrective surgery.
Uh-huh.
When someone has the psyche and possibly the hormones of a female but is born in a male body,
Uh-huh.
or vice versa, then there's only one. You cannot change the mind to fit the body, so you change the body to fit the mind.
I got to get a close shot on this girl. Oh my
Or
God, she's
Manny.
beautiful. Let's get a close shot on Jennifer Fox. Isn't she? Oh, Jennifer, you're beautiful.
Oh, she is. You should.
How-
Don't turn your head
she's-
around.
How long have you
I'm
been?
that monitor.
Where you're from
gorgeous.
Chicago, I understand.
From Chicago, yes, born and
Oh,
raised in
Jennifer.
Chicago.
I'm from Rockford, and I
Well,
started in Chicago in show
did?
business. I love Chicago. I think it's a
Listen.
great city.
Yes.
You're too beautiful. Where are you working next week?
She is. She's
With
lovely.
Ann Corio.
Tell me,
This was
how long
burlesque.
you been in the show?
I have been in the show since 1973 or 4, I believe.
Really?
We won't let her go.
And she's marvelous. She's beautiful.
I wouldn't go anyway.
And what
They-
kind of
every
dan-
night they say, "Oh, is this act here again?"
What kind of a dance?
can't get rid of me.
What's your dance?
I recreate a striptease of the golden era of burlesque.
Uh-huh.
I do a tease. I end my act with a fan
Down the
dance.
runway? Is there a runway there?
We have
A very short
runway.
one.
Short-
Oh,
but you
yes.
do- you
I
get a-
use the runway. I end my act with a fan dance, which recreates, of course, Sally Rand's
Right, right.
contribution to
Uh-huh.
the art form. And I do a little audience participation, which is a lot. I won't explain. They'll have to
Uh-huh.
come and see it, which is a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Great. Jeanette, boy, my God, I understand you're an actress.
Oh.
You did a lot of films and stuff?
No, I have not done a lot of films. I've
But
just done one.
One? Okay, what's that? Which one
It's
is that?
called Stripper, and it's coming out the 1st of January for
Uh-huh.
20th Century Fox.
Where are you from?
I'm from originally Washington State.
Washington State. That's a beautiful state, matter of
Yeah,
fact. It's
it
lovely
is.
up there.
Yeah.
Now, and how long you been in the show?
I've just been in the show. I just joined the show, and I'm thrilled to join it. I was with Minsky for years, and I've never
I
been
see.
with Ann, but this is my first time, and I really
And you're the talking lady on the show, I understand. She
I do
does
some.
bits.
No,
Yes?
Ann does the majority of talking.
Uh-huh.
I just play a nurse, which is lovely. And
Uh-huh.
In the Crazy House
In,
sketch.
in the
yes.
Crazy House sketch.
She's
Oh,
a
yeah,
nurse.
I'm familiar with that sketch. Yeah,
One
it's-
of the most famous.
Yes.
You
What
must
do you
come
do?
and see it.
The schoolhouse, do you do the school
Yeah,
days?
we do
The
school
school days? I
days.
love that.
But listen, Skip, when you come to the show, would you do a crossover? Forrest Tucker's
Oh,
coming
that'd be
next week.
fun.
He's going to do a crossover in Crazy House.
I will,
Would
love
you
to.
please?
Of course.
Wonderful. And
I
so
would
is
love
James Bacon is too.
James, I had him
Yeah.
on my show. He's wonderful. When is
Yes.
James coming in?
I don't know. Oh, James already saw the show,
He
but
saw
he's
it.
coming back because
Okay. Love
he
to.
wants to do a crossover.
Love to. And I understand you have a great dancer, a tap dancer by the name of
Gene
Gene
Bell.
Bell. I worked with him. He's
You
wonderful.
did?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
he
love-
stops the show. He is so magnificent.
Does his train thing?
Yes, he does. He does.
That
Yeah,
must
that's
stop the
fun.
show, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must tell the audience who are not too familiar with him, that he is a magnificent tap dancer of the great days of vaudeville, great headliner
Yes.
of vaudeville.
Yes.
And he dances in the tradition of Bojangles and the
Yes.
great tap
He
dancers.
really is. Yes.
He's magnificent.
Yes. And I must say, Sugar Babies, I've seen it. And, you know, and I've seen your show, the original show, and I love your show. I really must say.
Thank
that
you.
Because that was burlesque. Like,
We're the
really?
real thing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
There's
I
no
must-
comparison.
I
There is
know.
no comparison. The scenes are
Do you sing,
great in the
do you
show.
sing, Jennifer? You're lovely.
Thank God,
you.
no.
Do you-
I
does she
do
sing?
sing.
Does
My
she
dressing
sing?
room is next to Ann's, and I do sing.
She
And
doesn't
Ann
have
says, "What
to."
is that horn going on? Is there a
Jealous.
fire?"
Have
She
you
doesn't
gone?
have
You
to.
should go up for some films and
Shouldn't she?
television.
Oh,
She's
she's lovely.
lovely. They're
Well,
always
now
looking.
that we're here in Los Angeles, let me
Yes.
tell you something. For me, one of the, I could be jeopardized because I know that they're looking for talent and I might lose some of mine, but if they go on to television, that's my reward. And
Many
I won't be
times.
surprised if they,
May I say something to you?
yes.
Twilight Zone was casting looking for a transsexual last week. I didn't know this young lady.
Isn't that a shame?
Did they cast you?
I don't know. I
Let's
don't know.
find out.
But
Yeah.
you should
But
try to
tell,
find out.
tell him how many chorus girls have gone on from your show.
Oh, yes. that-
Adrienne Barbeau.
Adrienne Barbeau was in your show?
Yes, Karen Black.
Karen Black, yes.
Barbara Rhodes.
Uh-huh.
Gloria Leroy. She's Boom Boom and all in.
Carolyn Black. What
Karen
kind of a lady was she those days?
Karen?
Yeah, tell us about her.
Well,
A little.
when Gloria Leroy was on the same set with her on doing a TV. Now, all my girls are proud to say that they got their training in this burlesque. Karen,
Right.
Karen isn't too thrilled about it because when Gloria said to her, she said, "Remember?" She said, "Don't you remember me? We were. This was burlesque together." And Karen said, "It's not one of my most memorable occasions." I said, "Well, pardon my bulging hips, my dear, because she should be lucky to be in the company of some of the great stars who got their training in burlesque, because it's the only place where you can make mistakes and survive them.
True,
This is where you learn.
You
It's
do
a
learn,
learning.
yes.
Training.
You have
And
learned.
timing.
Yes.
Timing.
Have you
Wonderful
learned a
timing.
lot since you've been ever?
Very much so.
Really?
I worked with Tommy Morath, Ben Blue, Hank Henry. I've worked with a lot of them, so it was a lot of fun for me. And this is a whole new batch of comedians.
Have you done television since you've been?
No. We just got here.
You're
We're going
very
here.
tall. How tall are you, darling? You're very
5 feet
tall.
11.
5'11". She's lovely. You're not the only red hair. I see Ann has red hair.
Oh, I'm lucky.
Yes, Ann, looking at me. Yes, how many redheads do you have in the show?
Well,
Just you two?
I think we're the only two. I don't know whether she'll be blonde.
How many girls? How many girls do you
blonde
have
next
in the
week.
show? How many are
We
there?
have 8 chorus girls
8 chorus girls.
and 3 classic strip teasers, because we also have, you haven't seen the other little girl I have who has
What is her name?
uses Nicole
Nicole, I heard about her.
De
Yes.
Beers, yes,
Uh-huh.
and she uses
She's
doves.
the nibs. Is that it?
Yes,
Nibs?
she's the nibs.
Now, what does that
maybe
mean,
is.
nibs? What
I
does
don't
that-
know. What does nibs mean?
What, I think it's the boobs, isn't it? Nibs, boobs.
Well, I'm happy to say
Well, you'll never drown anyway. Believe me. You'll look good from
she
here.
will float.
Doesn't she? I'm anxious to
Well,
see
I would
you.
look very strange with my height if I didn't have something to hold me up.
True, true, true.
Nicole she's small,
Uh-huh.
and she's absolutely gorgeous. She has the most beautiful body, and she does a very beautiful. She's been trained in gymnastics, and she does some very lovely.
I understand
movements.
opening night, press night was sensational.
It
A lot of
was.
stars were there. Tell us
Oh,
about it.
standing ovations.
Really?
Standing ovations, really. And they we get a lot of pros.
It's the
professionals.
Maskers Club.
The
is it
Maskers are sponsoring us
Yes.
there. And well, you've been there, haven't you?
Oh, I've been to the theater. Yes,
yeah.
yes,
I
yes.
mean, the building is
It's lovely.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't even know the theater is there.
It's on
We're-
Figueroa, downtown in L.A. On
That's
Figueroa.
right.
It's
It's-
called the Variety Arts.
Center.
Uh-huh.
And it's at 9th
And you're there, how many days you're there?
6 days.
6 days?
Yes, from Tuesday to Friday, one performance at 8 o'clock at night.
Uh-huh.
Saturday 2, 6:30 and 9:30. Sunday
You do 2 shows Saturday?
Yes, and
two
2 on
Sundays?
Sunday,
And 2
2:30.
Sunday.
Well, we do the 2:30 matinee and Sunday for the senior citizens who
I
don't like to
love
come out at night.
Uh-huh.
And then at nighttime, we have one at Sunday night is at 8 o'clock, also 7:30. I don't
7:30,
remember,
3:30,
7:30.
2:30, and 7:30.
And I don't know whether I'm supposed to say this or not, so I won't say too much about it. But right now, we're in the process of arranging benefits for AIDS.
You are.
Yes, where we will donate our
You're
theater.
going to yes. Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
I'm glad you're doing that.
And
That's
I
we
am
need
too.
it,
It's very important.
Yes,
very
yes,
necessary because
yes.
AIDS does not. Most people think when they think of AIDS, they think of homosexuals. That's not true.
Uh-huh.
There are children. There are heterosexuals. There are
Uh-huh.
women and all. And it's a terrible disease.
When
It's
is this
something-
going to be?
It's going to happen late in October. You hear
You'll
about
read
it.
and the
Yes.
Variety Arts. I see.
Yeah.
Tell me about the senior citizens.
They love
I
the
love
show.
it. I bet-
Wonderful.
They love the
They're
show.
Are they?
wonderful,
Yeah.
They
and
sit
you know-
there and they.
It's marvelous because you see what they can also do. They can have a package, because there's a nice restaurant in the building above
Yes.
the theater,
Yes.
and they can come and have lunch and see the show, or
Uh-huh.
you can come and have dinner and see the show. They're great. Remember, the senior citizens remember
Yes.
burlesque as you and I do.
Yes,
you
yes,
see.
yes, yes.
Now you may be a senior citizen, but I'm not.
Oh, I don't mind. This is blonde, darling. This is not silver.
Oh, sure, and of course this is natural too.
Okay.
Clairol, 33 or 40.
Tell me, do the audience know that you are a boy when you are performing?
Well,
do
in
they know?
the introduction, Ann introduces me as is she or isn't she?
Why is
Miss
that?
Jennifer Fox, because I want it known that
You
I had
want-
transgender
She does.
surgery.
She does. That's
She does.
wonderful.
But right now, when we first opened, I'm sorry to interrupt this, when we first opened, we didn't have time to get all the bios in the program,
Yes.
and hers isn't in the first
I see.
edition, which they, as soon as they're finished, the new ones will. And it is in her bio because she wants it. She does not have to say that, really,
No,
because
no,
people
she's
don't
beautiful.
believe it.
She's
You know,
incredible.
I
it's in her
think
bio.
in the 80s, well, in the 70s and 80s, that being able to talk about sexuality and what one person evolves into is very important.
Yes.
I would say before transsexual surgery, before the idea of talking about sexuality, so many men got married, so many women got married who shouldn't have, had children. I have a very dear girlfriend whose father turned out to be homosexual, and of course she was left without a father for many, many years. He left her and the mother, and now I think people realize what they are. They can delve into their psyche, so to speak, realize what they are, decide what their niche in life is going to be, and not make some terrible mistakes.
Yes, and also I
Exactly.
remember you saying that really sort of affected me a great deal, because I thought how tragic. A lot of young people commit suicide because they don't know how to
Deal
to
with
deal
it.
with it.
Until Dr. Harry Benjamin coined the phrase
yeah.
transsexuality in the early 60s, nobody even knew what it meant, or what it
In
was.
the 60s?
Yes, early
Yes,
60s.
I see. Tell me, when did you decide to get your operation?
Well, I always had feelings of transsexuality as a young child. I mean, I
In
was
Chicago,
very
when
effeminate.
you were young?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
when I was young.
Yes.
And always seemed to lean towards the feminine things, whatever that may mean. I mean, I believe in women's liberation. If a
Yes.
woman wants to be a construction worker or a cab driver, I say, fine, let her do that, if that's her niche. But I think we all have to realize what our niche is and go for that. I was about 18 when I first heard that it was possible to have transsexual surgery.
Jennifer,
What there-
you look very happy.
I love
Are
it,
you-
and I
are
am
you-
happy.
you are?
Yes,
Yeah.
That's so you made the right decision.
absolutely. And now,
Absolutely.
conversely speaking, I must say, I've talked to transsexuals who thought they were transsexual and had the surgery, and it turned out very tragic. So it's very important that they have
Psychiatric
screening.
training for it that you
Yes.
told me.
Right. You had to see a psychiatrist,
Yes,
didn't
you
you?
see a
for it?
psychiatrist. But when I had my
To prepare
surgery-
it.
Right. Now at Stanford, I understand, and some of the other universities that are doing transsexual surgery, you must have a year of psychiatric evaluation before you can have the surgery.
I see.
It's very important. Many people who've had it should not have had it.
Jeanette, are you married?
No, I'm not married.
You're single.
I
So there's
was
a
married
lot. Go ahead.
very short time to a professional jockey.
A jockey.
Yes.
Yeah, see, I have a chance, Jeanette. See, that's why I like tall women. Why do small men like tall women? They
I
do.
don't
I'm
know.
always fascinated with tall women. I just
don't
love
know.
tall people.
Well, listen, when I met the fellow I married, I wouldn't go out with him because I thought he was too short. And he said perfectly to me, he said, "What's the matter? You got to hang up about your height?" And I said, "No, me. I thought it should be you to have hang up about your height." No.
So I have a chance, don't you?
Yeah,
Jeanette?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
wonderful. I love your girls you brought me today. I really do. I think they're beautiful.
And they're very nice ladies.
That's lovely. And you're just traveling around. You're going to
And
be here.
we're-
How long are you going to be here?
We're going to open end. We hope that we'll be here a year, we hope.
Really? You're going to?
Oh,
But you don't have
absolutely.
no time then.
No,
Oh,
we're
that's-
here on an open end. We're here for 8
Wonderful,
weeks. And if
wonderful.
it's successful as we
Yes,
sure
uh-huh.
it will be, because the press has been fantastic. I've never seen
Reviews have been magnificent.
Yes.
I've never seen any show get the publicity that we're getting here in Los Angeles. They love us here.
Good.
They
Who's your
love
conductor
us.
on the show?
Bruce Curl, Kirle.
He's wonderful. I
Isn't
know
he
who he is.
good?
Yes, from New York.
He's been with us. We're family, you know. We travel like a family.
That's great.
We've had all the traumas of families had. We've had marriages, divorces, we've had children being born, we've had death.
Really?
And I'm very fortunate. I have a little girl, and Ann lets me bring her backstage too, which is very nice. She's
People have bad ideas about this burlesque. You know, let's really.
If they
let's-
knew burlesque, they
if
wouldn't.
they- yeah,
what
they
if he
think
came?
they-
And what if he came was not burlesque?
Yeah.
They may have had a burlesque sign on their theater.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
not burlesque.
Not burlesque. Yeah.
Burlesque comes from an Italian word, budellare.
Yes.
It comes from the commedia dell'arte.
You're Italian.
Of course.
I am too.
You're
Italiano.
You are?
Italiano.
Wonderful.
Parli Italiano.
Yeah, I hope this is playing in my
Half
hometown so all my Italian paisans will see me. Is this show shown in Hartford?
Yeah, it's shown in Hartford.
Oh, great.
Yes, it's in New York and
Wonderful.
Hartford.
That's
But you know
great.
something who sends their love to you, and I
To me?
just got to tell you.
Oh, please.
Yes, real quick. I talked to John
Kenley.
Kenley. I
Really?
was waiting for you to say it.
Oh,
Do you know John Kenley?
John
Yes, I got that,
Kenley
John.
Yes. Tell
was
us
the
about
one
John.
who took me out of burlesque
Right.
and trained me to be an actress.
John
John
Kenley
Kenley
sends his
did.
love to you, darling.
Oh,
I mean it.
I love, John. Was John
Yeah.
going to see this program?
Yes, he's going to see
John,
it.
I love you. I love you dearly.
And he loves you both. Do you know John Kenley?
Yes, I met John when we were playing Cleveland at the
Yes.
Front Row Theater.
Uh-huh.
Lovely gentleman.
Yes, he was.
Do you know
he
what
was in
he
town.
did,
Yeah.
John?
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt, but I must tell you
Go
this.
ahead.
When I was signed for movies, this is how close John and I were, he worried about me.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out to Hollywood at his own expense
Uh-huh.
and stayed with me. He wasn't allowed to come on the set or anything, but he would meet me after the day's shooting and go over my lines for the next
Uh-huh.
day and coach me and tell me how
That's
to
right.
read them, what
That's
to do.
right.
Did he tell you that?
Yes, yes, yes.
I
And
love
he
John.
just told me to tell you hello. I just spoke
Well,
to him on
he's
the
very
phone.
successful with his theaters.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yes.
You talked to him today?
Yes, I spoke
Did
to
he know at the
him.
time that I was going to be on?
Yes, he knew. But anyway, I just want to say thank you very much for bringing us two
Oh, do we have to
lovely
go?
No, we could just cut 1 minute or whatever.
Now let's do
But
another one.
just another show. It went quick, didn't it, girls? I
Yes,
must
it
say.
did.
It did go quick, and I
I
really
never
went.
finished what Boulari means.
Yes, what Boulari.
Okay. It comes from it means to satirize,
Uh-huh.
which means to make fun of, but in a nice way.
Uh-huh.
Double entendre. That is what burlesque is. Burlesque, they hear burlesque and they think of something that's vulgar and dirty. It isn't.
Same as a comic. When he's on stage, he uses the double entendres, not
And-
filth, not
right,
that word.
that's right.
One word they
That's
use at the
right.
comedy store and all those
Yes.
rooms. I want
And
to
in
thank
today's
You are darling.
That's right.
climate, what's going on television,
It's
and all the pornography going on,
It's terrifying.
the scale is the
Yes,
other way.
yes, I
We
agree.
are so innocent
Yes.
now.
Thank you. Thank you very,
Thank
very
you.
much. You're very charming. Thank you.
Thank you, Skip.
Well, that was burlesque, but I must say, this is burlesque.
This was.
burlesque. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Skippy Lowe. You've really been looking at Hollywood today. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so...